Hey everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be discussing the live stream for Discover University that was on earlier today. And I'm gonna be honest, that live stream was a hot mess. So here's the thing. I was about 20, maybe 30 minutes in, and I was like, why am I not excited? And at first I was thinking, oh my lord, is it the gameplay? Is it like something how this is set up that I'm just not interested in? And I was really just like at a loss for a moment. And like to be honest, I'm excited for university, but I'm not one of those people who's been like, I need it. It's gonna complete my game. I need it. It's gonna complete it. I'm kind of one of those people that's like, yeah, university would be nice. I knew we'd get it eventually, but I wasn't holding out for it. Like I wasn't holding my breath. And I so I kind of was like, okay, so it can't be that like my hopes are been diminished or whatever. And to be fair, honestly, the more I thought about it, also, I was like, so, for being honest, like, pretty much everything we've learned about it so far, I've either am excited for or what is how I wanted it. I didn't want interactive classes really. I'm fine with rabbit hole classes. I'm glad that there's like a new system for the university organizations, very similar to the clubs um, from Get Together, but very different and college oriented. Pretty happy about that because that's something I did want. There seems to be sports. I think the sports are a rabbit hole though. I did kind of jump around the. I didn't watch the live stream live. I watched it afterwards. I was at work when it came out. I came home and watched it. And I was kind of jumping around after I kind of realized why I wasn't interested. And the reason I wasn't interested was, I feel mean saying this, was those three girls, the three sim gurus, they just were not charismatic enough. They could not hold enough of a presence on the screen for me to like genuinely be invested in them and anything they had to say. And I was thinking back to past streams as well as past Sims 4 events when we have like Sim Guru, Lindsay, or some other ones, and they all are pretty charismatic. They know how to carry themselves. They know how to interact with an audience, keep it interesting, as well as they also know how to show off some of the new gameplay aspects of an upcoming pack or release without giving too much away, and also while getting us excited. And these girls just were not it. I don't want to like insult them or shit on them because like I don't know them. I don't know them that well. I don't know how they ended up doing the live stream. And like they seemed nice enough, and they seemed relatively interested enough in The Sims and in this pack. But I think the main issue is to really be able to hold an audience. You really need to know what you're doing, and you really need to be charismatic and active. Listen, this is coming from me, and I I don't even think I'm one of the best YouTubers out there. I don't. If somebody in the comments were like, "You're just like them, you can't hold on," I think it's true. I don't think I can hold an audience, but I know when someone else isn't. Also, and I think that was one of the main issues. Was even when they were showing things I was excited about, things I had wanted, things I had been curious about, I just didn't care. And I think part of the problem too is that it was a 2 hour stream, and it just felt like the way they were showing off the content didn't really feel like it was being utilized properly in that 2 hours. It kind of felt like 2 hours of nothing. And at first I was like, oh no, is there nothing in the game? But then the more I thought about it, I was like, no, they just like weren't showing it off well. Like the bike they were trying to show us like footage of the bike riding around. It was kind of bad. It wasn't that the animation was bad or that I wasn't like, ooh, I'm so happy with how the bike moves. It was just they didn't have an interesting angle. They didn't play with it well. They were showing off the campus at Brychester, and they had some preset angles to go to look at it, and like they weren't good angles. They didn't really explore the campus that well. They kind of, I feel like, were saying things they didn't need to say. I was just like, it was just bad. And I think that's something EA needs to think about going further, especially for packs like this, where people have been really, really hoping for and really holding out for. That if if you're gonna show it off, you need to show it off correctly. You need to show it off right. You can't just half-ass it, and that's exactly what happened here. And like I said, I don't think, from what I understand, I don't think they half-assed the pack. I don't think it's gonna be a bad expansion pack. Will it be worth $40? We'll see. I generally don't think most packs are worth the prices they put on it. I think the only packs really that are close enough to their value are actually the game packs. And that's actually, I think I personally enjoy a lot of the game packs more than expansion packs. Badly enough. And once again, it's not that I don't think it's lacking content or gameplay. I think a lot of the time they're just overpriced for what they are. I think The Sims 4 would be a lot better received if it was actually fairly priced. But with that said, I do think from what I saw, this will be one of those packs that might be closer to being worth what they're going to charge for it. I think what its biggest issue, there are some issues that I have with it. There's some things I really like. I personally am really happy with how the college dorm system worked. Yes, they did pretty much just take a very similar model to from City Living. Why did I forget the name of that pack? Yeah, they took a system very similar to City Living, just plopped it down. They definitely changed it up, and I'm pretty happy with it. I actually really like it. That's how I wanted it. I liked that it seems like you can't change the shells. That's what I'm happy about. Sims 3, I feel like we had too much control. And I do like that they actually went out of their way to really create a lot more drag and drop items so that you don't need to actually go in into build mode to decorate your room, and then it actually feels a little bit more like a dorm room, because dorm rooms really aren't doors. They're space you occupy for a temporary amount of period, and then you pack up your things and you go, so you really wouldn't need build mode. So I'm pretty happy about that, actually. I know some people in the comments were mad, but I'm like, I don't know how else they would do it. They did discuss that there's some other on-campus living, that those ones seem to be almost like sorority houses, but they didn't really explore them that well. I'm not sure if they work similar to the dorms where you like assign beds and rooms. I don't know. I'm hoping they're like that, because I definitely would love to use that sorority house I built not too long ago and drop it down. I also love with the college dorm system that um, townies and NPCs will populate. And they did say that they did try their best to make sure that it isn't just like random townies, so that you don't get like Nancy Landgrab in your dorm. So I'm really happy about that, because I know some people were upset about in the realm of magic that like Nancy Landgrab's like running around casting spells, which I mean I'm fine with it. I definitely feel like Nancy Landgrab would use magic if she got the chance. But I understand the like frustration that it kind of breaks the immersion. So I'm definitely glad that they listened to that. We'll see if it actually works or not. The way they worded it, like they're like, "Oh, that shouldn't happen," and that yeah, they just did not have a good presence. The things they said was weird. They also, to me, it felt like that they didn't know the pack that well. I don't know if that's because EA maybe didn't give them enough time to play with it. Maybe they weren't really on the Sim Guru team that really was working on it. Maybe they were off working on a different pack, and they're like, "Oh, we would love to play with this one on stream." But yeah, I just had a feeling that they didn't really know what they're doing. There were times they would ask each other questions like, "Oh, in this thing it does this, right?" Like, and it wasn't like kind of a knowing like question. You know, how you can ask a question to lead into, "I want you to show X and Y." It was more of a, "What does this pack do again?" kind of question. But once again, I don't ever thought, and not once when they were showing off the pack, that I feel like the content was bad, but really that they were just dragging it down, and I feel bad saying that, and I don't want like A to sound like a headhunter after me, but I'm gonna be honest. Some things that did kind of bother me, so I was skipping around a little bit once I kind of realized that I was so uninterested in the three gurus. I was like, oh dear lord, they and on top of that, they like didn't know how to use the computer. It was, I don't know what I was watching. But there are some things I did notice in the comments. I saw one comment that had mentioned something that like sports were a rabbit hole, which I was actually hoping sports weren't. Not that I would ever play them, but I thought that would be an interesting thing. But I have a feeling they are. Like I said, I didn't see it in the the thing. The thing. I didn't see it in the live stream, but it probably is. And I've been kind of going back and forth on how I feel about that. On one, I would never personally use it, and I can understand maybe creating all those animations while trying to keep the game more accessible for not as advanced computers. Like The Sims 4 compared to The Sims 3 can really run on almost just about any computer and can run pretty smoothly. Before I got my gaming laptop, I played it on a pretty shitty PC laptop thing, and I never really had issues with it. I mean, sometimes it'd get a little laggy, but that was just more of the fact that that computer was like literally dying. Um, and the Sims team, I think, has been really conscious about this since The Sims 3 was so inaccessible. I do sometimes worry though the lack of animations, um, and reusing them sometimes is also them trying to cut monies, cut costs. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't be surprised because EA is greedy. But I also understand, on the other hand, they are trying to make it more accessible. So who knows? I'll let you decide what you think it is. Um, and like I said, I'm not 100% sure. I really only saw one comment about sports. I do like that you can join sports teams. I'm excited to see play with the animations of a soccer ball or football, wherever you're from. I'm American, so it's soccer. Um, Another thing I really liked, I really like how both campuses look. I really loved also the robots. I thought that was such a fun little thing. Once again, just kind of adding more quirkiness to the game. I pretty much think The Sims 4 is already a pretty quirky game. However, compared to some former ones in the franchise, it is missing a little. A lot of the new gameplay things I'm really interested. I know some people were complaining that the debate thing felt like kind of like a reuse of the politician career, but I was also like, well, that's kind of what it is. I don't know what to tell you. That's pretty much like most people in debate either really like politics, want to join politics, or end up will. And I mean, like, of course, not everyone. Some people just like to win arguments, but it works very similar. So it's like one of those things where people were complaining about like the animation or how the system felt like it was just like a repeat, but it's also like it's like a repeat activity. So are you mad about the activity or mad that it isn't like I think you're more mad at the activity than how they developed it. Same with dorms, people who are upset that it was like apartments, and I'm like, well, that's kind of what they're like. I lived in a dorm. That's kind of yeah, it's just a really shitty apartment. Like, let's be real. Um, I do love the new showers. I'm really excited because I haven't really built any new gyms yet, which, as you may or may not know, I am working on my SimSave file, so I'm excited to play with that a little bit more. I do know they said that children through teens probably won't use those showers. I think they'd probably just be too uncomfortable. And then, like, adults, young adults, and elders will use it, and they'll get a mood lit saying that they're uncomfortable. Like, but I'm like, okay, yeah, that seems legit. But I do like it. It really adds a nice piece of gameplay. I like the new stalls. They're saying something about like the space between stalls and American bath. Maybe it's because I've only ever been in like American public bathrooms that like I don't really know what they're talking about. But I'm excited to play around and see. I did get the feeling though, because they didn't really, at least I was trying to jump around really looking for some of the build um, items, and I couldn't really find them playing with the build items. And if you watched my reaction to the two trailers, I was really so excited for more um, just build items, like more architectural details around windows and doors. As of right now, I feel like a lot of the doors and windows, like there are some that do have some nice like decorative stuff, but I just need more. It's because I'm dramatic. I'm gonna be honest. And the buildings I want to build are dramatic and flamboyant. So like, let's be real. Let's call it what it is. Another thing. So I'm worried about that. What the build items are. Not super worried because generally I do like all the build items they come up with. I think The Sims 4, if anything, it's a really good game to build in. Even if you hate the gameplay, I feel like you can't say the build mode isn't good. I know it's not the only thing, but I also like the gameplay. But I love the building. Next, speaking of building, they did show the new system for columns, and that's something I've just been looking forward to for like forever. So I'm so excited they finally added that. I can finally make the like disgusting McMansion of my dream. I hate McMansions, but I've always wanted to be able to build the two-story entranceway that are so ugly, and we never really been able to because you can't. You can stack columns, but they just don't look as good. So I'm excited for that. Um, yeah, overall, like I'm gonna say, I'm still pretty excited. I'm a little disappointed in the fact that they chose those to be the people to show us Discover University because I think they kind of bogged it down. And I just they because I don't think they felt comfortable or maybe they don't know the game well enough. I don't know what's going on. They really just didn't do it justice. And I think for a pack that people have been asking for so long, they really should have had someone like Lindsay in there. Um, someone who knew what they were doing. To really show it off and show off how much fun it can be. With that said, though, there are some things I am concerned about. We already talked about like the sports. I don't mind classes being rabbit holes. And I've been hearing things like, oh, teachers and students can be in relationships. I'm fine with that. I think my biggest concern is the way you join clubs is like you can't just join them. You have to like befriend people who are in clubs, and like that's not. I'm fine with that. I understand it is a game. There should be some kind of incentive. They have to create incentive for you to like interact with NPCs and stuff. Um, I'm interested to see how the new clubs work and how the new system works. I do feel like sometimes clubs in The Sims 4 get together. They aren't bad, but what it is pretty much you have to come up with what you're doing. I know you can come up with activities for them, but like really, it's sometimes annoying that there just aren't basic like book clubs and stuff. So I'm excited to see what these clubs are like. Another thing I'm a little worried about is how rivalry between the two schools work because The Sims 4 is constantly kind of like on beast mode. It makes me feel like any rivalry between the two will be very PG. But on the other hand, this game does, or this pack at least, feels like it's really introducing more consequences than past ones. Like we kind of have some consequences in The Sims 4, but it does feel like The Sims 4 is constantly on peace mode, which sometimes for me is a nice breath of air because The Sims 3 was like for chaos 24/7. Like it never was anything else. You were constantly like in danger, which is fun, but also really like annoying when you're trying to build up a legacy family, and then like an asteroid like destroys your whole city. So like, I, what I really want is a nice mix, something in the middle. And I feel like this pack is introducing some really nice consequences, such as you don't keep your grades up, you lose your scholarships. If you don't do your grades, keep up your grades, you might fail out. Because as of right now, with the high school, um, like UI system, I guess you can call it like that in The Sims 4, you don't really fail out. You can just get Fs and like graduate, and it's whatever. Like, I guess in your mind, you're like, oh, my Sim flunked out of high school, but like what it really is like you just have an F. Um, so I'm glad that at least there is some kind of system in place. I wonder if you can get kicked out of college, as well as there's consequences for being for just like certain things. So I'm really happy about that. I do like that they've included a lot of new pranks. Once again, adding kind of that um, quirkiness that we didn't have before. And then anything else really. The weird part is like I'm excited, but I have really nothing to talk about, and that's because they talked about nothing. And it's like so frustrating because I saw a lot in the trailers that excited me. They wouldn't talk about them, or they wouldn't talk about them in like good enough depth. And on one hand, that makes me worried that the gameplay is gonna be very boring. But on one hand, because of me watching them for like 2 hours, I really just think it's because they just didn't know what they were doing. Anyways, I'm still very excited. I'm going to pre-order. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. Once my student loan gets taken out, I will though. Um, but overall, just like I'm just hoping it's a lot better than what that live stream was.